Lazy Dude 99. Lazy time and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review and talk about movies and comics too. Let's all Hello everyone and welcome to another Lazy Dude 99 review. Today we are looking at the film Divergent. This is another movie that you can add to the franchise of a teen novel that's based on a dystopian future where the society is corrupt and our young hero has to save the day and show the world the way it should work. Our main character is played by Shalanine? Anyway, Miss Woodley. She's a young girl in this world where in this world there are 5 fractions based on different qualities of the human nature, I suppose. We got kindness. They're mostly the people who do all the farming and all the nice, I don't know, work outside, because I guess that's what makes people kind. Then there's brains. Then there's the people who do all the soldiering, all the keep the place safe. Then there's the lawyers, because we all want them in one place and don't actually want to talk to them. And then there's the people that Triss is part of at the beginning, and they are people who help other people, and they are part of the politics tribe. So basically they are people who help those in need and also run the world. This takes place in the futuristic city of Chicago. Now, it's really unclear a few things about this world. So basically how it works is you grow up in each of your fractions. And when you reach a certain age, you take this test. And this test will tell you which fraction you should probably belong in. But it doesn't fully matter because you get to choose and go to whichever fraction you want. But as soon as you make that choice, no takebacks. If you try to go back and try to choose something else, you will become one of the disenfranchised, which is basically, they're the homeless people. But our girl Triss, she doesn't call herself Triss at first, she's Beatrice. When she goes into the test doesn't work on her. Why? Who knows? It's kind of vague, but basically she doesn't belong in one fraction. She has a whole bunch of different qualities that make her who she is, that she could belong in many different fractions. So basically, she's called a Divergent. She's someone that the test won't work on, and who the capital, okay. I'm sorry I said the capital, because I'm going to have to compare this book to Hunger Games a little bit, because that's basically what it's trying to grab the popularity from. It's kind of ride the Hunger Games roller coaster that it's riding and see if it can catch on and get some money, which seems to be getting a fair amount. I mean, it was the top one at the box office this week. But anyway, what I mean is the government, they don't want Divergents because they say they're a threat to the system because they can't categorize them in their little box. But eventually, when she's able to choose which place she wants to go to, she chooses Dauntless, which is the protectors and the fist fighters and the army, I guess, of this world. And so she's on a journey to try to figure out who she really is while trying not to be killed because the Divergents are being hunted down in this world. I really like this world. The way they have everything set up and these different categories is really interesting. You get to see people who, like, the brains think they're smarter than everyone. Like the lawyers have like a kind of self-righteousness about them. The people at Dauntless, the more physical and protector part, they're like crazy. Like when it's time for them to get on a train, the train don't stop. They have to jump on the train. And there's even a point where like the walking part beside the train tracks just ends. And if you didn't and then the way when you have to get off of the train, you have to jump out of the train onto a roof. And they're like, well, what if we don't jump? And they're like, well, then you become a homeless person, one of the disenfranchised. They're like, oh, sheesh. This bus driver must really hate these Dauntless people. But I like the way the world works, and I was actually interested in a lot of parts of the way the world works. But there are some things that are really confusing to me. The first thing is, I really don't get why everybody in this government is so afraid of divergence. I don't get it. I understand why the villain of this film doesn't want divergence, who's played by Kate Winslet. I know why she doesn't want divergence, but her fraction is not the ruling fraction. So what do the whole world have against divergence? Because people get to choose whichever place they go to. Why isn't just like, you're Divergent, you're a wild card, you can choose any which way you want to go? Like, she seems fine, this girl, Triss, she seems fine to just choose one and try to just be a part of that. I don't get why divergents are such a huge threat to this whole system, as they say. They say divergents, they can destroy the whole system because they don't belong in these boxes that we like to categorize them. Well, they seemed perfectly content with just choosing one of these boxes and going there, so I really don't get why a lot of this world hates Divergence. I don't get the reason behind it. I get why the villain doesn't like Divergence, but I don't want to spoil why, because that stuff dealt with later, but I don't get why this whole world is against them. And I also don't get why they have like this humongous army force and nothing to do with it. If anybody out there who has read the books is trying to type, well, you see, in the book... Okay, sorry, that's my nerd impression, but nerds didn't read this book. Girls said, well, in the book, you see, it says blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I really don't care. Because this is a movie, and if a movie doesn't explain something as well as it does in the book, you can't... I shouldn't be expected to read some extra material. But anyway, the world seems to be getting this military force with Dauntless. You know, people go there. What are they fighting against? It's never really clear. They have these ginormous fences, and the city has like scars, and looks like a lot of it has been like destroyed. And they keep on mentioning a war, but they don't say a war with who, a war with what. Why are these fences so darn high? Somebody says, well, there's monsters out there, but are they right? I don't get why they need this army, this humongous army. They seem more like trained to be army soldiers than they are to be police. They don't seem to be a police force, more of an army. And if their main focus is, making sure the disenfranchised don't do anything bad, well, they seem like zombies. They're just out there like if the disenfranchised were starting like gangs and they were rioting and there was like massive thefts, I could understand a little bit more why they have this humongous task force, but it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of that going on. Also, is this fence just around Chicago? Is it around like the whole world? Is Chicago cut off from the rest of the world? Is it the only part of the world? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions about this world, but unlike something like, say, the Hunger Games, I don't think the unanswered questions are necessary. I would think that it would be really essential to the plot if they had answered some of these questions for us. And once again, please don't say, well, in the book, because if they do make a sequel to this, I might want to see it, because actually the movie's kind of good. I mean, besides some questions on how the way the world works and why it works this way, I actually do like Miss Woodley's performance as Triss. I mean, I like that she goes through this world and she thinks, okay, the test is going to tell me what kind of person I am. And then she goes and takes the test and then has no idea of a person she is. And she still is on the journey to figure out what type of person she is. So she chooses Dauntless. She's taken to this facility to train in the military stuff, and one of her commanding officers is a guy named Four. Did I see a movie before with a main character by the name of Four? Nope, never saw a movie. If I did, I probably forgot it. Anyway, one of the ticking time bomb factors into this movie is that if you are at the bottom of the class, you're one of the disenfranchised. getting back to the world, I don't get how this is a good move for this world. I mean, the world says, okay, you get one choice. Choose one of these 5 factions. And then, as soon as you picked one, that's it for life. You don't get a second chance. I mean, come on. These guys and girls, they may be older than a regular kid, but they're still teenagers. And the fact is, teenagers can make mistakes. They really can. I mean, when I was younger, I had a few ideas of like, hey, I'm going to do this for a living. Well, I'm not doing that for a living. You know, so the fact that, okay, you choose one, and if you don't actually like it, well, too bad, you're stuck there forever. I don't see how that I don't see how that makes a good government. I mean, seriously. There should be transfer system. Maybe it could be very rare if someone would be better suited for another area. I don't know, but maybe it was like maybe once every 5 years you could change, but not right away. You know, or you could apply to change. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It says like, okay, you're stuck with this one job, and if you don't like it, you want to do something else, too bad, you're homeless now. That's like saying like, if I was bad at my job, and I've had some jobs where I was pretty bad, and I got there, I'm like, okay, sorry I'm late, and the guy's like, no, that's it, you're done, you're a homeless person now, goodbye. I mean, I may not have the best skills in one area, but I might have them in another area, and it takes to try this area before you realize that you're better at this area, you know. I just don't get how that would be a great system. And wouldn't you just have so much homeless people? Like, we don't want homeless people in this world. We don't. It's unfortunate that it happens. It happens whether loss of money, addiction, happens for a number of reasons. But we don't physically say, okay, you're a homeless person now. If someone doesn't have the money to pay for a house or something like that, and they don't have the funds to keep themselves alive in a house, then they become a homeless person. But it's not like we condemn people that you are now homeless, whether you like it or not. Another confusing aspect about the world is that some of the rules make absolutely no sense. For example, the Dauntless people, they basically have no rules. They're jumping off of, they're jumping on the trains, they're climbing the world's tallest buildings, and then zip lining through them. They have all this freedom. And then you got I forget what it's called, the hometown of Triss, the home culture, the political culture, and they have some of the stupidest rules. Like, from the very beginning, they said, okay, we're not allowed to look into the mirror for too long. That's a thing? And it's not just like it's just not something we're supposed to do. Her mother actually says rules are rules, and they the mirror is locked off for a certain amount of time, then they have to close it, and you aren't allowed to look in it. How does that work? Not being allowed to look into a mirror for too long. Not only how does that work, how do you enforce that? Whoa! Citizen, do you know how long you were looking in that mirror? I don't know, a few seconds? That was a full 38 seconds! It wasn't that long, was it? No. Do you know what the penalty is for looking in the mirror for too long? No, I don't know. I don't know what the penalty is. No, I wish you did. I don't really know. That seems like a really stupid law. Oh. Maybe we can call this... Okay, just don't shoot me! Get down on your knees and face the wall! I'm getting down. I'm on the ground. Okay. Did you just look in the mirror again? No! Did you just look in the mirror again? I didn't, I swear! Okay, I'm harping a little too much on the negative. What are some of the other good things about this movie? I really think that Miss Woodley, she really does a good job of this Triss character. That she goes from a little naive to wide-eyed to really frightened of what the world would do with her. I would like her to question what it means to be a Divergent. She really it's also a little weird that she doesn't know what a Divergent is when everyone else is kind of talking about it and oh yeah, those guys are hunting Divergents, and everyone seems to be okay with that. I mean, I don't know, this world. I like this world because it's visually good. Like the visual shots of this Chicago that's destroyed but also new with all this new technologies. I like that. That's good. But there's other stuff I'm just I don't know. I don't get it. And those Dauntless people, they are crazy. I mean, some of the stuff they do, the zipline scene, that would kill so many people. I mean, okay, you're going through this zip line, and this zip line is going through buildings. And not only going through buildings with lots of broken stuff sticking out everywhere, but the end, there's a wall. Yes, at the very end, there's a wall with a big X on it. And how does she stop? She has to pull the brake. Okay, where's the brake? In her hand? No. In front? In here? No. Where is it? Behind her! That she has to flail and try to grab. Look, going down it so fast, and then there's a wall, and if she doesn't grab the brake in time, she's gonna flatten herself against the wall. How is this safe? There should be so many skulls on that wall, because she barely survived. But anyway, let's talk about the supporting cast. Well, the only really interesting one I will say is 4. Because I guess it's because they give him some character development and he starts out a little stern and slowly she works his way into his life and he starts to care about her. I like that actually she gets her butt kicked a lot. You know, she has multiple things where you're just thinking, man, she's going to rise above, oh, there she goes down again. I like that. I like that about the movie. I think that it shows that she's not the most perfect character at the end of this that could fight anybody and anything and without a hesitation, but she's still fighting through this. And but the thing is, the other supporting characters, while fine, I mean, she has a best friend who's a girl, and was formerly a part of the lawyer clan. And I like her. I think she's interesting, but she doesn't really have a whole lot of character depth. And her friends that are guys, let's just say that they were so forgettable that when one of them died and then the other one showed up later, I thought it was the same guy. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't he dead? Oh, there was 2 of them the whole time? Oh, okay. I thought there was just one. I was surprised how many bad reviews this movie got. I mean, it's in the 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's below average. While I won't say this is an amazing movie or anything, I think it's it's worth watching. It's entertaining. The side characters, while most of them are pretty superfluous and not really neat, they're not really given that much character development. Which they probably were in the books. I mean, for example, let's put it this way. There's this woman who draws tattoos. She gets her own poster, but in the movies, she's barely involved. I mean, all she does is save her life at the very beginning when she finds out that she's a Divergent. That's it. That's the whole kit and caboodle. But that's whatever. So what? I will talk about a little bit of the spoiler side in a little bit, but I'm going to give my rating now for those who don't want to spoil parts of this movie. So I'm LaserDude99, and I'm giving Divergent a 6.5 out of 10. It's pretty entertaining. It will hold your attention. I'd say it's pretty good to watch, actually. And if you're someone who likes a teen novel romance thing with a dystopian future, I'd say it fills the void pretty well. Okay. So thanks for watching, and now it's time for the spoilers. We have this part at the end, which is one of my most hated movie cliches of all time. Fight it! I know you're in there! Fight it! Fight it! Well, this was actually the best I've ever seen it done. I'm not even kidding. Because while I didn't really like it there, it made sense because there's a scene in there where they go into Four's mind, and he has to say that sometimes I have to shoot an innocent, but I always have to look away. Then he fires, and so when Four is mind controlled at the end, and they're fighting, and he's beating the crap out of her, and she knows that she's not going to be able to make it. She grabs the gun instead of shooting him. She points it at herself and then makes him look at her, which brings his psyche back online. A lot of these times when people are saying, fight it, it's more like, I don't know, their love for that person bursts through and the real person comes through. But I like how it was more, she went into his subconscious and forced his mind to get back online by forcing him to do something that he wouldn't normally want to do. That his reaction is to look away, and by making him look, it kind of snapped him back into reality. I like that. It's still a little bit eyebrow rolling when they say, fight it, you can, or she doesn't exactly say that, but she's like, it's me, it's Triss. I'm just like, I don't like that. The ending is a little cliched, but actually the ending is too cruel. Now that might be weird to say, but it's absolutely horrible to Triss. First, she finds out everyone's mind controlled. Everyone's absolutely mind controlled. She has to play along, except for Four. Four's not mind controlled. Good. And so then she goes, and and then they get found out, and so they're captured, and then she's about to get executed, and then her mom comes and saves her, and she's like, wow, you're part of the Dauntless? She's like, yeah, now let's kick some butt. And so they're running away, kicking butt, and while they're shooting, one of her friends who's mind controlled comes at her, and she keeps on yelling, stop, and then she kills him. Yeah, not a good day to start your day. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, like 5 seconds later, her mother gets shot and killed. Oh, that's very, very sad. I'm really feeling for her. But by the time her father died, it was almost comical. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what are they going to kill next? Her puppy? And then you just have Four beating the crap out of her. I'm just like, it was just, I was just like, come on, you. I know that from what I heard from my sister-in-law, that's in the book. She says it doesn't happen as fast, but it's in the first book, so it's in the first movie. Makes sense. But, gosh, that's one of those things where it just comes across as overly cruel. And so we have her mother dies, one of her friends she has to shoot and kill, and then her father dies, and then she's getting the crap out of her by the man she loves. And it's just like, oh, come on, that's just too cruel. It's just too, I don't know, it becomes like less believable and harder to get invested and feel for, like, oh, I feel her sadness that she just lost a parent right now, rather than, well, I feel her sadness that she lost a parent, had to shoot someone, and then, it just, that to me, it was just like, no, I didn't like that. And once again, just the way the world worked, I didn't really fully like. I like the way how she had to trick the villain. I like she had to use her own power against her, which was, a clever twist. And this movie's actually pretty funny. It has some funny scenes. I love how she's just like, why does everyone keep saying that I won't shoot them? Boom! And then shoots them. I love that. That's absolutely hilarious. That's enough for the spoiler side. I don't really have anything else to say. I think this movie is pretty good, and if you like this style of movie, I think you'll enjoy it well enough. There are some things that are just eyebrow-raising and rolling, and I will admit that, but it's definitely nothing like Twilight, and I'm not sure if it deserves all the bad reviews it's been getting. So remember, I'm LazyDude99, and if I don't like it, it's not there. So remember, guys, I'm LazyDude99, and if I don't like it, it's not worth it. See you around. Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel, and wait for more coming soon.